There's me. Good morning. It's still morning. 11:39. Today is Friday, June 19th, 2026. I'm at this Boggs, B-B-B-Boggs trailhead. Haven't been here this year with this Boggs one. So we're going to start out as the vehicle. There's a beautiful sight to start the video. A porta potty. Let's walk around that. Alright. So we are on the trail. Get on the trail. Vehicle all by itself. I hate this parking lot. I mean, I really wish they would just pave these. You know, like they did with the Panhandle Trail. They paved all the trailheads real nice. It's great. This one, the entrance is really rough coming in. And it's not paved. But, you know, I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain, but I am complaining. Boggs Run campsite is adopted by the... Alright, we know that. What's this sign right here? Oh, yeah, okay. Looks like they're doing something here. This looks like they don't really do much here. Alright. Oh, shoot. I forgot. See? I knew I forgot something. I forgot to start this workout here. Damn. Trying to get all this stuff ready. Alright, it's running now. So I got probably about... What would that be? Maybe about a couple hundred feet that I didn't get on this. That's alright, it's no big deal. Just add a little bit to the end. I mean, this looks nice, you know, this at one point, but right now it kind of looks run down. The grass is like not cut, been cut for a while. I'm not complaining. Make sure that's still running. Mile marker 11.5. There's Boggs. I mean, this looks like it would have been a nice thing right there. They got like a bird bath type thing in the middle there, but it's just so raw. Like they don't really take care of it. I can see them putting their money into other things like fixing the National Tunnel, stuff like that. I really think they should pave the trailheads though. Hi. So I replaced the battery on the body cam. So that battery was the original battery that I had from like the summer of 2024 through now. So it's like 2 years old, a little more than 2 years old. And I know I charged it up. I charge it up every time when I'm done using it. For whatever reason, it depleted itself. And I think it might be related, well, it's a couple years old, but the last bunch of times I've let it go all the way down to 0 while I'm walking. It just shuts off. It doesn't go to exactly 0 because it's like 2% or whatever. But I mean, maybe that had something to do with it. Letting it run all the way down. It charges up, then it can't hold that charge. I charged it the other day when it wasn't working. I got home, I charged it. Charged up to 100% real quick. Stay there for a while, you know. I figured, well, I'm going to retire that battery and use a new one. So I put the new one in. It's fine. Back to the crushed limestone. I haven't been on the crushed limestone for a while. It's been a couple of weeks at least. Hi. Hey. And you figure I was at the Panhandle Trail last week. I was at the Allegheny River Trail up in Foxburg. That's paved. Panhandle Trail's paved.
Oh, I knew that.
Ah.
There'll be another one coming.
Okay.
Coming by and an idiot behind me.
Trying to think about the time before. Yeah, okay, the time. So, let's see, Foxburg. Then a week before that, I think it was at Panhandle Trail down in Midway and Bulger. So it's been probably about 3 weeks since I've been on the crushed limestone. In a little wide open stretch. It kind of looks nice over there. Normally don't pay too much attention to that hillside over there, but it's looking pretty good. Hi. I'm starting to like these hillsides. Crazy. Like, oh, there's a telephone pole there. But, see that cool hillside up there? That looks nice. While we're at it, let's do a selfie. Alright, so first selfie of the day. Boggs trailhead's right there. Heading towards McDonald area. There's that really cool hillside up there. Right up there. Later. Hi. It is a pretty sight over there. So this is going to be a wide open kind of a deal up here. Not much shade. When you go up this crest here, you cross underneath Route 22, you get into that near the Champion Mine area there. It's all wide open. It's fine. It's the first time I was at the Boggs trailhead this year. First time that I was on this section of the trail this year. Try not to repeat. And I haven't repeated really any sections of the Montour Trail this year. I've repeated a couple of trailheads, but I'd go in like a different direction. It's kind of hard to do to not go to the same places because there's not that many, but I've expanded my trail walking to include more of a panhandle trail this year. Then the Gap Trail, did that about 3 times, and then the Allegheny River Trail. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of driving though to get to the Gap Trail and the Allegheny River Trail. Not crazy about that. Now this is really nice and overgrown. Here's a bunch of trees, but that's going to be the end of that. You get to that clearing and it's pretty clear all the way down past the county line. Goes from Allegheny County into Washington County. That's all wide open. When you get past that, then you start getting back into these trees real close to the trail situation. I don't think I'm going to be going that far. Or I won't go too far. Let's just say it that way. I'm not going to go too far. The way this is overgrown here, this looks kind of cool and spooky. You can hear that road up there. So we're approaching 3 years and I first started coming on this. First time I was here was, I think it was October of 2023. Well, late September, I think I was actually at Boggs Trailhead. No, maybe I even in, yeah, during the month of September I did come this way. So yeah, September of 2023. So we're approaching 3 years. Today is June 19th. This is a nice section right here. Kind of reached that crest and now we're heading a little bit downhill. It flattens out, you know, right here. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick. So the latest stuff with this Iran thing, what a debacle that whole thing was, man. I guess Trump didn't expect it to be as hard as it was. But the good thing is he's got out of it, whether he, save face and get out now. You can't let that go on any longer. I mean, if it's going to be like a stalemate, with them being able to keep control of the straight, that was crazy. When that first happened, I was like, what the hell's going on? Every day keeps coming out, oh, we decimated them, they got no Navy, they got no Air Force, blah, blah, blah. We've pummeled them, the war's basically over and all this other bull crap. But then, it's like, well, how come the strait is closed? They must have some control there, bud. That whole thing was crazy. But it is what it is. Now, this is Route 22. We are under Route 22 right now. We're going to take some obligatory alternate videos. This is Route 22. This is the Montour Trail. Route 22. Alright. I've seen that 100 times. And that road, right, that underpass, that overpass is the old Route 22, and it kind of an entrance ramp to this new one. But then it also goes over to the old Steubenville Pike. There's mile marker 12. So that means we're half a mile since that last mile marker. And I got 0.51. I gotta add like maybe 0.01 or 0.02 to that, since I parked and walked a little before I turned this on. Now, the last time when I was on, I was at Quicksilver earlier this summer. I walked. If you go from this is loud, really, these trucks. Lots of traffic up here. If you look at the halfway point between Boggs and Quicksilver, I was beyond the halfway point, heading from Quicksilver towards Boggs. Back in, I don't know when it was, April, I guess. And when I was leaving that area, there's a lot of construction up here at the top of this one hill. Lots of trucks, lots of earth moving. I don't know what was going on, but... Hi. Hi. Alright, here's that Champion Mine sign. Champion Coal. Did that sign used to say Champion Mine instead of saying Champion Coal? It's hard to remember that right now. I think it was about a year ago that I came past here and I took a picture of this. Let's go ahead and do a, just because we can and because we feel that we have to. Champion Coal Preparation Plant. Yeah. All those years coming out this way on Route 980, which is up there to the right, you come down and there would be that little conveyor belt that went across the road with the coal flying on it, flying off of it. This is the wide open sections. All the way down it's wide open. At least until you get to a little bit past the county line. There's a little utility road that goes up to 980. There's a little staging area right there. I liked it here. A lot of truck traffic up there. I was going to take some more photos of that, but forget about it. I've seen that a bunch of times. Usually you'll see them come through here and like clip this grass a little bit further back from the trail. Not that far, a couple feet maybe. But this hasn't been cut, and over here it hasn't been cut either. It's okay, I like it. Figure it's so wide open, they gotta let something grow along the sides here. Keep it scenic. That's the big question that's going on right now. Are things better off for us now versus before we started going into that war? Before we started the war, actually. It depends on who you listen to. I mean, you listen to Trump, it's like we decimated them, blah, blah, we pummeled them, and they've got nothing. And the only thing is, they still had control of the Strait of Hormuz, somehow. So they weren't totally pummeled. And I think that's the thing. He didn't want that to continue on with our gas prices being high and them having a stranglehold over that. They would probably hold out forever with that, even that we would cripple their economy with our blockade and they couldn't get anything coming in or out of their ports. They would still have a stranglehold over us, so, in the world. So he did the right thing of getting out, but who knows if that's going to be. That deal sounds really shaky to me. When he was talking the other day, he's never very clear when he's talking about it. He's like, oh yeah. So he's like, well, after this 60-day period, what's to stop them from doing this or that? He's like, well, I don't know. If we do, we'll just start dropping bombs on them again or something. It's like, okay. This whole thing sucks, this 60-day thing. Now there's that little roadway, the utility road that goes up to 980. Here's this huge wide open section. Let's go over here for a minute and take a look at this. We've taken many pictures of this before. We're going to do it again. Shell Pipeline Company, MOV 510 Champion Processing Road. So we got no trespassing, the Shell Pipeline Company, danger no smoking. Now where's the cameras around here? I'm sure there are. Let's see. Doesn't really matter. It's not like I'm gonna do anything. I'm just saying, where are those cameras? There's got to be some in here. Maybe like up at the top on that pole, maybe. One time I was here taking pictures like this, and there was a guy in one of the trucks up there on the hill. They were scoping me out. Hey, if you're gonna leave this wide open like this, I'm gonna take pictures, man. Nothing they can do about that. Hi. There's that area with those containers. This is a real interesting place right here. It's a cool looking hillside, except they got this orange fencing around it that kind of ruins it. Ruins the scenic view of it. Let's get back on the trail. What's that say? Habitat management. I've taken pictures of this numerous times, but gotta do it again. Habitat management in progress. There's a no-mow area. Okay. There's a nice looking hillside up there. Right there. Let's zoom out and then come back in. I like that right there. That looks pretty. Then there's these containers that kind of ruin things. But it's interesting. We're at about 0.8, a little more than 0.8 miles we've gone. It's a similar day to when I was out on Trail Wednesday on the Panhandle Trail. Those huge puffy clouds, and it's not too hot. It's in the low 70s Fahrenheit. I was wondering, what do they do with these things? Are these rented out? These Adler containers, are they rented to companies to use for cleanup or whatever? Who knows? It's kind of an eyesore, actually, being right in the middle here. It feels nice, though. No, low humidity. Temperatures aren't that bad. I'm liking it. This wide open area is similar, not the same, but it's similar to that wide open one down there in the PRT station and library when you're heading towards, what's that one road? Stewart. Wood Street and then Stewart. It's down in there. It looks similar to this. A little wide open. This is way more out in the country though, because that one has a bunch of townhomes right there. If those containers weren't there, that would look like a beautiful shot. You know? Let's get another view of that. Alright, so you've got your containers like right here. It's like, whoa, what a waste looking at that. Oh, there looks okay. Now over here, if you go above those containers, if you get those out of the shot, that looks pretty nice up there. Nice fields and stuff. Then you come down with the containers. There's that Adler tankrentals.com. Okay. I wouldn't have the equipment to rent one of those. Those are huge. I've never actually seen any of those moving, you know, vehicles coming here and moving them out. I've seen some people working over there. Hi. Hi. Now we're going to start getting back into the tree line area. Yeah, I can see the county line symbol. There's a plaque down there. Checking out those clouds up there. They look really nice. Alright, so we're coming up on mile marker 12 and a half. Way down there, that's that sign. We'll get to that pretty soon. That's the county line, as in Washington County. But I'm looking over here and looking at the sky. Oh, it's really nice. Taking pictures of the sky. Yeah. Adler. So we're at one mile from where we came, from whence we came.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? The guy was coughing. There's this wide open area here, see? It's like an alternate little pathway there. I guess that was used heavily when the mine was here. And then there's a wide open area over there. That looks really nice. Up here, when you get past this county line sign, you can see a bunch of stuff over there. Remnants of, I mean, I really can't tell from far away, but it almost looks like little footpaths, little bridge footpaths type thing, but I think it's more like leftover pieces of tractors that are just not buried, but they're just tossed over there. Once you get up here, you can see like the water and stuff. There's like a swamp area. Might not be able to see it too good now with this growth. Alright, so we're going to take some alternate videos of this. Alright, so we got, well, let's look at this first. There's that Adler containers. There's this really nice area right over here. There's one of those signs, Habitat Management in Progress. And then here's the, zoomed in too much there. Entering Washington County. Okay. And then on this side, it says, entering Allegheny County. So we're at mile 12.6. Mile marker 12.6. I remember one time I was zooming in and there was a bug inside this, right up in here somewhere. And I took a picture of that. Alright, whatever. Let me see if I can get a selfie with that sign in it. I know I really don't need that, but alright, there we go. Entering Washington County. Entering Allegheny County. Alright, let's keep going for a while. We at 1.1 miles, so not that far yet. Like I've said before, I've made it down from Boggs down through here, past the halfway point, you know, to Quicksilver. Many times. And I've come from Quicksilver back this way, roughly to that halfway point, or beyond the halfway point, a couple of times. This looks so reminiscent of when I was a kid riding mini bikes out in the sticks. Looks pretty nice over there. Right over in there somewhere. You can't see it now with the trees growth and everything, but you'll in early season or late season you can see some leftover equipment, and you can see the water. I might be able to see the water up here, I'm not sure. Huh, look at that over there. Now that's different. What is that over there? Almost like a bridge. A bridge over whatever. There's water coming under here. Water going right under here and then coming out. And they put a bridge over that, so I guess when they drive trucks down through there. What do they do when they go down here? What do they work on this over here? Maybe the trucks go down through there. Yeah. You got me. That's new. I haven't seen that before. Little step function bridge. Step function. I used to say it all the time. You know, you do your little thing like this, and you get your step function. Draw your little step function on a piece of paper. Now we're back into the normal scenic trail with the trees on both sides. Okay, you can see the water from here. Not too great, but you can see it. It's like a swamp area. Let me do this. Alright, so anyway, that's the trail. Heading down towards Quicksilver and McDonald and everything. There's the trail going back to Boggs. But right over in here, right in there, is where the water is. A swamp. And I remember seeing, when there's not a lot of leaves, right up in here somewhere, you'd see that old equipment. Like an old crane, part of a crane. It almost looks like a footbridge from a distance, but I think it's like part of an old crane. I'm surprised that they left that there. Yeah, it's a swamp. You don't want to be walking through all that. Here comes a guy on a bike. Huh. There's a little clearer shot of that water from up here. Oh, there's a good shot of it right there. Wow. You can see that real clear. Let's get a shot of that. Yeah, see right there. That's where all the water is. Hi. You see airplanes, you can hear. Where is that? I hear that. It's probably right above me. I don't want to be looking up and get dizzy. get dizzy and you lose your balance. I've always found this a nice section. Proper grammar. I've always found this to be a nice section. Right here, it's like you're going through a little tunnel with the trees. You get up here with one of these tunnel effects. There's an evergreen. Let's go a little further. We got 1.3 miles. We're okay. Let's keep going. Hi. Yeah, here comes that evergreen. Here we go. This is nice right here. See all the fallen leaves and stuff. Let's back that way. It goes towards Boggs. And here's this. Not too many leaves right there. But there's one there here. Evergreen kind of deal. All the pieces on the ground here. This one's nice and shady right here. And way down there, I can see, on the trail, I can see like the blocks, the ballards, whatever, there would be a fence across that at some point maybe. Right down in there, that's where there's that little hut. I can see it on this video zoomed in. I was at that from Quicksilver the last time I was here. Went up to that point. Might as well go all the way, because look, we're almost at 1.4 miles. That's not that much further. Let's keep going. We'll go down to that point. What I've been doing lately is I've been going a little bit further than I probably should, because I'm loving it, you know. I'm like, okay, let's keep going. Then on the way back, I get really tired, and then my body's really sore for a couple of days. So if I was smart, I'd probably stop right now and turn back. But I'm not smart right now. I'm not being smart about it. When you come this far, you gotta say you've done it. You gotta go all the way to that midpoint. coming down here today. Went down through Imperial. And then I went up Santiago Road and then Boggs Road. And on Boggs Road, there was a deer that crossed the road. You can sort of see the water down there. He hears something down there. Now this kind of cracks me up. They put these posts in. Well, they want, they don't want cars and vehicles come through here, but you'd almost think they would want to put that chain across to block this off, but they don't have the chain there. It's not across. The chain's sitting there, but it's not across. I'm not making too much sense right now. Mile marker 13. Yeah, see, there's a chain, and they could block this whole thing off if they wanted to. Let's look at this real quick over here. I remember taking pictures of this before. Huh. I don't think we want to go too much closer to that. Alright. So let's see where we're at. We're at 1.5. Alright, we're not going to go any further. We're not going to press our luck and get like sore. Just down there a little ways is that little hut. But that's okay. We know where that's at. And we know where all this stuff's at. We don't need to go see it again. We're at 1.5. That's a decent... 1.5 is a decent average for me. Alright, so here's this sign somebody wrote on here. Wonder Boy. And then... How you doing? Good, how are you? There's a date, 10/3/24. I've taken pictures of this before. Then here's all these rocks right in here. I got that zoom too much. And then there's mile marker 13. Alright. So yeah, 1.5 miles in one direction is a total of 3. Do the math. The fuzzy math. Alright, that's going to be good enough. 3 miles is a great walk. I was going to say great run. A great walk. 3 miles is great. Total. That's enough. Don't need to prove anything to anybody. Last couple of times on these trails, down there in Gap Trail and also on the Allegheny River Trail, I went further. I went like 2.2 miles in one direction. Sometimes closer to 2.5 in one direction. My body was really sore after that coming back because that's too much for me. Now you can see the water down there. It's hard to get a good shot of that with the trees and that, so forget it. We'll just keep walking. Oh, might as well get a drink of water. It's a nice trail. It's a really nice section right here. It's kind of like this all the way back to Quicksilver. And when you get closer to Quicksilver, there's some really nice trees. Nice area with some trees. It looks like, kind of looks like that one down in near Library, PA. So far, every one of these trails that I've gone to, these sections, there's unique things going on. Like Panhandle Trail the other day, boy, I was there a couple weeks before that. That is so nice down there. That open field, the Field of Dreams. Now this is going slightly uphill, which I don't like. I watched a video this morning of somebody taking the Allegheny River Trail from Emlenton down towards Foxburg. There's that section that's not finished yet. They're working on it, but it looks pretty rough. You know, lots of like tree limbs that fall down across the trail. Lots of clutter. Lots of large puddles and mud and everything. It's not ready for me. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to wait. Give it some time until they finish that. Hopefully it'll be nice someday. Like the one from Foxburg down towards Parker, which is where I was a couple weeks, or no, last week. That's nice. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that was on Monday, June 8th. It was like a week and a half ago. What was that right there? Almost looked like there would have been a dead animal or something, like a bird or something there. Can't really tell. Interesting, you don't see any signs that say like private property, no trespassing or whatever over here. You see all some other signs about the that habitat thing and not mowing the grass right here. There's that roadway that comes down and goes right there's like a reflector there. Yeah, there's that water. can see the cattails. Let's get another shot of that. Alright, so there's your water, your swamp, and there's that growth all around it. Thought I heard something walking through there. You definitely don't want to be going over there walking or riding. Someday I'd like to see somebody come and get one of those trailers, one of those Adler containers, and yank it out of here with a tractor trailer. I don't think I've ever seen one on the road. Like when you're on that Gap Trail, there's a lot of sections where they got the no trespassing, private property signs everywhere. Here you don't see any of that. There's that little bridge they put. Can you imagine trying to drive a truck over that? Some kind of a Jeep you'd be able to. I wouldn't want to take my vehicle over that little step function bridge there. See what that small print says on that. It's hard to read. Let's zoom in on that. Maximum zoom here. Let's do it. Habitat management in progress. Oh, look at that right there. Shell Pipeline Company is applying conservation practices to maintain a safe and reliable pipeline while providing wildlife habitat. Any questions, please contact. Okay. All right. Cool. Hi. I remember that time in October of 2023. I had been up here in September of 23, I'm pretty sure of that. And then October, I remember coming here. It was one of those real hot days in the first part of October of 23. It was like October 1 or 2, maybe October 3. And as I was walking through here, all you saw were grasshoppers all over everywhere. And every move, every step you'd take, grasshoppers would come jumping out. It was that time of the season. The fall of 23. Hi. So here we are, crossing back from Washington County. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! Allegheny County right now. We're in Allegheny County. How about that? Yeah. See up here, they've got all this shell company signs on stuff. But up there on the Panhandle Trail, where that giant field is, between Midway and Bulger, there's that pipeline that comes up. There's no signs on that whatsoever telling you anything about it. Hi. Woman detained after shots fired in Aliquippa. This is constantly uphill. It's gonna be like that all the way up to Route 22 at least. There's some kind of a notification. Split. Hi. That's a nice looking field for sure. I would say getting close, not quite, but a little bit like that one on the Panhandle Trail the other day, except for that little section there with those trailers, those containers. That doesn't look too good. Let's go ahead and take some videos of this, alternate videos. So there's where we were at. There's that Washington County, Allegheny County dividing mark right there, that sign. You come over here and you're like, wow, look at this field. There's some things in the middle of it. There's like a pathway through there they drive those trucks down through. But it looks pretty nice. You go over here, it looks okay, but then all of a sudden, boom, here comes those trailers, those containers. It kind of ruins the shot. But if you go right up there, like that, zoom in without those trailers, or those containers, that's a nice looking hillside with trees. Oops, let's try to keep those trailers out of it. I keep saying trailers. I don't know what you call them, storage containers. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, did I ever see any of these anywhere but here? You know, like out in the wild, out in use somewhere. I don't think so. I'll have to look that up. Holy shit. I'm sitting there like, I'm paying attention to anything talking and rambling. That lady comes up behind me. He's like, go on your left. That scared the shit out of me. Alright. It's windy. Huh. It's real windy. You can see all that. Hi. Those people were the ones that came past me right at when I got on the trail at Boggs. They were real close to that. Should have asked them how far they went. I'll bet you they went all the way down to the viaduct, the Donald Viaduct. For some reason, when I first came out here in 23, I saw those containers, those Adlers, and I was fascinated. I'm like, wow, look at all this. This is really cool. And I was taking all kind of pictures. But the more I think about it, the more it's ruining nature. I mean, they had a beautiful hillside over there and over here. And all of a sudden, there's these containers in the way. The orange... what do you want to call it? The orange pollution. The color's not really even orange. It's like reddish. It's really windy, but it's nice. It feels so nice. Color ones right over there. Let's see what that says on that. Some brown ones over there. Alright, so there's all those orange ones, reddish orange. Then there's this brown one, a couple brown ones there. What does that say right there? Ironclad. It's maximum zoom. I can't really read that from here. When I get home, I'll zoom in on that. Be able to see it clearer on a bigger screen. I can't really tell what that says underneath that ironclad. there on that hill on Route 980 heading down towards McDonald, before you get to where Beach Hollow is, there were those, what kind of trucks going there that time in April or whatever, April or May. You can sort of hear that now. You can hear, I don't know what they're doing up there. Digging out the hillside. What they really ought to do is they ought to fix that intersection, I-576 and Route 22. That's that old-timey intersection when that I-576 came to a stop there at 22. It didn't really matter what it looked like, the interchanges there. So they made everything like a nice little stop sign, come to a T, but that's kind of an antiquated intersection now. The only thing is, nobody really uses that I-576. It doesn't matter, I guess. It's not like a heavily used thing that gets backed up with a lot of traffic. So it's not worthy of upgrading it, probably. Let's take a look at this one more time. Alright, so we got no trespassing, which the only way to trespass is to go inside the fence. So, I mean, what the hell does that mean? That doesn't mean a whole lot to me out here. I can go all the way up to the sign if I wanted to, or the fence. Little booth. Little pipeline kind of thing. Danger, no smoking. Alright. Alright, let's move on. Get back to the trail. It's kind of a different, like a slag dump kind of thing here, a little darker coal. It's like that on the entrance to Boggs too. I didn't like that. That Boggs trailhead is a mess. But I guess there are people that like it that way. They want it to be rugged. It's supposed to be a outdoor wilderness trail kind of deal. They don't want it to be all pristine with, paved parking lot with lines and shit. But I like it that way. But yeah, it's like right up in here. There was that conveyor belt that went across Route 980 and came down here with the coal. And you'd go driving there, and there'd be coal on the road, dirty roads and stuff. Noise alert. Yeah. Gots to blow the nose. This is in constant uphill for at least the last half a mile or more. Probably like close to a mile. it's starting to level out now. When at Route 22 is really busy. Lots of trucks. There's I've taken these shots before. Let me do another one here. Just because we can. So there's a sign talking about 980 and 22. Alright. We're coming up on Route 22 over there. Where that truck is right there, that's the entrance ramp. Oh, it's ending right. There's two overpasses. One of them is the ramp that goes up to meet 22 up there. Okay. And it also goes over to the old 22, the old Steubenville Pike. And then the other one is actual 4-lane Route 22. Oh, I can see that up there now. There's where those tractors were. So, alright, so there's the Montour Trail. There's Route 22 and also the entrance ramp to 22. There's signs up. Let's look at that real quick. Get your signs. You don't need to see all that. Now over here is where you can see a bunch of tractors and stuff up there. On the top of that hill, it's all flattened off. That's where they were coming out way down there on 980. The road was a mess. Last time I was out there, the road was a mess. It was all dusty. And tons of vehicles were coming out of that area. Don't know what's going on up there. I looked it up actually when I went home. I was trying to figure that out, but I couldn't find anything. There, you can see a better shot of it right there. And then also, you know, I thought a couple times already, when you go down this way on the old 22, on old Steubenville Pike, or Steubenville Pike, I guess, not old, Steubenville Pike, whatever. Not the 4-lane highway 22, but the old part. And you head down towards Oakdale. There's a lot of construction on top of a hill there. And I started thinking, like, well, maybe they're trying to make some ramps. I'm just guessing. There's no entrance ramp when you're coming, or exit ramp, sorry, when you're coming on Route 22 and you're heading towards Robinson. Let's look at the sign again. There's no exit ramp for Oakdale. So it says right there, after 55 years of operation, the plant was closed in 1983. Operations on the Montour Railroad ended. Tracks were removed in 1986. Structures demolished in 1990. So what I was saying is, when you're coming down, heading east on Route 22 there, and you wanted to go to Oakdale exit, you wanted to get off at Oakdale, you have to get off before that, like at Hankey Farms. You can get off to Imperial, go that way, Imperial exit, or you can take the Hankey Farms exit. But when you get close to the Oakdale McKee Road, there's no exit ramp there. So I wonder if they're going to make one there. I don't know. I don't even know if it's worthy. Here's where you can see the signs. I'm taking way too many photos.
Pittsburgh International Airport, Washington, 9570. McDonald's Midway, 980.
See, I'm kind of spoiled. Last Saturday when I went to the car cruise, I just kept taking a bunch of videos with this iPhone, and in the end you just concatenate them together and get the total video out of it. Then on what day is it? Yeah, Wednesday, when I was out on the Panhandle Trail, the Field of Dreams, same thing. I didn't have the body cam working, so that was real easy to edit all those videos, stick them all together. This is going to be back to the cut and paste, splicing in and stuff. Mile marker 12. So we've got about a half a mile to go. And this says 2.55 on my watch. There's Route 980 right over there. Alright, so it goes right underneath. 980 goes right underneath that. Well, actually, I think 980 probably ends up there, so that's just that road. What's that called? Potato? Is that the Potato Garden Road? That's the way I'm going to take now. I'm going to come out on at the end of Boggs there. You get that Potato Garden. And you make a left, you come up here. Yeah, that's what that is. Really interesting names. Boggs. Potato Garden. Now it feels kind of humid right here. Getting into all these trees. And down here where the trailhead is at Boggs, hi. There's that place that's, I don't know if that's a landfill. There's all kind of trucks coming in and out of that place. Well, I can feel that heat coming off of this. Boy, it's really humid right here. Let's take a look at this up here. Alright, so there's Route 22 on the trail. That goes back to Boggs, and this is the cell tower. Yeah. I feel like I can just blow my nose again. It's just like non-stop trucks. And there's a lot of dump trucks. Let's just hope these peace talks go fairly well and we don't get into some more war activities. This sounds so shaky to me. Especially the other day when Trump was there over at the G7 summit, and he did a speech, and he had questions from the audience at the end. And there are all kinds of questions like, well, sir, the thing says this will be true for 60 days, but what's going to happen after that? And he's like, well, we're going to hope that they behave themselves. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Yeah, like Iranians are going to behave themselves. They're already doing stuff behind everybody's back. He's trying to sell that like a win so bad. And J.D. Vance was all over the place, every talk show you could imagine, promoting his book, but he was, talking about this, trying to defend all this stuff about this deal, the so-called deal. It just sounds wrong. It's like if you won the war and you defeated the other people, what do you need to make a deal for? It's like you pummeled them, right? So, end of story. But no, that's not really what happened. We pummeled them for a while, but they have a stronghold on the strait, and that screws everything up. And I guess the only way out of that was to, have ground troops and stuff and have a full-scale invasion and all this other shit, but that's really a bad idea. So he just decides, all right, we're going to stop bombing, and then we're going to do that blockade, which that was a good thing. The blockade of their, so they couldn't get any ships in and out. But still the strait was closed for everybody else. So this is the only thing you could do, try to save face and get out. And call it a win, but really it's not really a win, it's a draw. I don't know why he did this. What made him think it would be easy? I was thinking that at the beginning. I said, this is not going to be easy. It just came out of doing that thing in Afghanistan. Went in there, took out that Maduro, and within a few hours, and it was ended, and everybody's hunky-dory, everybody's loving. He's like, oh, loving us now and stuff. So he thought he was invincible. I guess he got talked into this by Israel. Yeah, I think we're in for some hard times with this Iranian thing in Israel, and we got this short-term relief now where gas prices come down and the oil's flowing and all this other, right? Everything is just, lots of trucks. Everything is like a deal to discuss the deal. A deal to meet to discuss the long-term deal coming up. For 60 days, you got it doesn't make a lot of, I keep saying it doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. Why do we have to do this if we really won? If we won, they would have been surrendering and there would have been nothing else to say. It's like you submit to what we say. We took control. But no, that's not what happened. Now I want to take another shot of this. Is a really nice area right here. Except for these trucks. Alright, we're coming back towards Boggs. You can see the porta potty down there. All those trucks, garbage trucks. That hillside up there is nice. I like that. But you know, naturally Trump's not going to say anything negative about what he's done or what we've done. He's going to spin it in a positive way and how we defeated and they're decimated, etc. Everybody's talking about how is this better than it was before we started this Operation Epic Fury. Maybe them just knowing that we can do this and not be babies about it, you know, like Obama or Biden, that Trump means business, and when he says they're going to do it, he does it. It's like, oh wow, they didn't even think that was a possibility, so they know that now. A lesson is learned or something. They still got a lot of stuff. They're still strong. The other thing he could have done is what he said, you know, he was potentially going to do way back before that ceasefire, is just bomb the hell out of the whole place. Decimate the country for real. You know, I mean, all the infrastructure, all the civilians would be bad, you know, it would be terrible. Render the place inhabitable. But he couldn't take the chance of doing that, because politically that wouldn't have been a good thing. Humanitarian effort would not be a humanitarian thing to do. Politically, he's already screwed, though. It's all political. All this, get the midterms coming. Let's just hope that they can end this for real and get everything back to where you know, everybody's happy about their gas prices and all that. And Iran behaves, yeah, right, behaves themselves, turns into Venezuela or something. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Not with them terrorists. Wait till the midterms are over and then go back to bombing the hell out of them. Well, there's Boggs, trailhead. There's the vehicle. Hi. Hi. Yeah, I was watching that speech that Trump made at G7, and Marco Rubio was on his left, and he was stoic the whole time. He didn't look happy at all. Never even smiled even a little tiny bit when there were some jokes. Now, Howard Letnick was on the other side. He's always cracking up. He's kind of a buffoon. But he was laughing his ass off at Trump's statements, you know, about the Democrats and everything. Rubio's like, oh man, I gotta go out and defend this. I gotta go out there and defend what we've done. Alright, so we're at like 3.1 miles already. I think we'll just cut through here. Kind of wipe this dirt off my feet. Boggs. Back in the vehicle. Start it up. Whew. Yeah. Now we have 3.1 miles. Let's end that workout. Okay. Turn that air on. It's hot in here. And then let's check this body cam battery real quick. I think it says, oh, my glasses real quick, but this is like 15%. So, all right, we're going to end this now. Bye-bye.